Happy New Year, everyone. I hope your New Year is going great. It is for me. It is a little chilly out right now. Mine, I guess, is off to a great start, but I'm taking today to get some cleanup around the Japa. I have to do some work with my tractor and move some stuff around, and I need to take care of this waste problem. But honestly, I don't think you want to hear about my New Year's resolution on my diet. We're going to be talking about the other kind of waste that's down at the bottom of the yard. First things first, I'm going to get some cleanup around the Japa and move a couple things around with the tractor, and I hope you guys would hang out with me. Yeah, the Japa is sitting out in the elements, and that is on my list of things to do, is to get this carport. And it's not like it's frozen up or anything. Has gotten some snow in it. It's got some snow on the perfect clean conveyor. But I think laying all around it, I just got a bunch of mess. I'm going to get all this picked up and get this cleaned up. Hopefully everything's not frozen to the ground. And it'll get us in a better position for the rest of the week. When I come across pieces like this, though, I'll pull these out and I make this part of my kindling. That stuff dries out pretty quick. This conveyor has this scraper on it that keeps the stuff from getting behind the belt, and it just helps to move this stuff along. And it is a little frozen in here, but we'll be okay. I got in the habit of laying a tarp underneath this area because it does accumulate a lot of mess. And I lay some weight on the tarp to keep the wind from blowing it away. The challenge I'm going to have is we had this big rain, and now it's a little cold, and we might be a little frozen. I'm afraid to see what I'm going to find inside these totes when I try to dump them. Yeah, but doing this really saves a lot of work. I used to be on my hands and knees raking out stuff from underneath this. Or I just dump this in here. Get all this mess out of my way. And I do have some that falls on the ground. I'll pick this up. One of the things I think I have done a much better job over here than at my old place is that I'm keeping the place clean. There's a couple areas where like the logs were placed on the ground. I got to get that cleaned up. It's the bad time of the year for that. But operating one of these processors puts a lot of waste on the ground. Sawdust flies everywhere, the chafe, and I think it's just important you stay on top of it, because what I learned at the old place, once you let it go, it's gone, man. And it's hard to get back to where you want it to be. And then these bladders work great for the sawdust. And I keep the lid on it so none of the rain, none of the snow's gotten in here. This is nice and dry. I think the day when I start selling my sawdust, these bladders, you know, these come out of the IBC totes, they're going to play a big role with that. One of the areas I think that gets neglected is under the live deck. You know, these logs lay on here, the bark comes off, and then it's hard to get underneath this. I think the day might come, I'm just going to drag this table out of the way and get all this cleaned up nicely. I think it just works a lot better and it's a lot nicer, and there's less trip hazards for you when you're walking around it. And then I'm going to fork the offcuts down to the axis, and we'll get all these split up and we'll put these into the boiler wood. I don't know how you guys are. I've never been into New Year's resolutions. I guess it's okay to like use that as your starting point, you know, and try to improve on something, but I don't know. I don't want to let myself down, so I don't even bother. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take the grapple off of the tractor, and we're going to put on the forks, and we're going to move these totes around, and get this place cleaned up. What I've learned with this grapple, you want to let all the pressure out of the lines before you take them off, because man, it's about impossible to get them back on. So before I start up the tractor, I'll hit the third function buttons and clear the lines out. Okay, that is a technique that I've learned the hard way. No one had to tell me to do that after the first time. I couldn't get my grapple back on. So just to save me an extra time on and off the tractor, I just go ahead and throw the quick release before I even get it started up. And just because of the way I am, for whatever reason, I always park my truck in front of the implement that I want to hook onto. Makes everything a little bit harder on me. Time. Is that a thing for good luck for 2024? That my first attempt I got the forks on? First thing, I'm bringing that basket of boiler wood back up to this end. I'm going to put another empty basket underneath it, and then we'll start clearing out these tubs behind the Japa. Here we go. Before I go up to empty the totes, I'm just gonna try and push these logs closer to the axis. That'll save me some wear and tear on my shoulders, and get these logs closer to the lift. That's why I'm the brains of this operation. get the next one. So here's my Happy New Year resolution. Guys, I got to do something about this waste pile. It's getting bigger, and it's not going to go away. When I first moved into this area, you know, processors make waste. Splitting makes waste, so what do you do with it? Well, I'm very sensitive to open burning. I'm within city limits here, so I don't think that's an option. And it's quite an impressive pile. And when I first started operating out of this area, I was chasing my tail. It was just too easy for me to dump this on the ground and worry about it later. I still got some room here, but it's going to start becoming a bigger problem. It's harder for me to ignore. So since burning it is probably not an option, I think that leaves me two other possibilities. One, I got to get more aggressive on selling this, marketing it, and getting it sold. The first tote that I dumped has this bigger stuff in it, and I think there's value in that. The second tote that I dumped has more mulch. You know, there's still some bigger pieces in it, but it's mostly this smaller stuff, the mulch. I think that has some value in it. And then certainly the sawdust. So that's the first thing. I think the second thing that I can do is perhaps sell all of this in mass, where it becomes mulch, it gets ground into mulch, or it goes to like a farmer that's using this for inputs into their field. I don't know, but I want to try and address this year. You know, I've also looked into those pellets. There's like these pellet mills, but you know, I think I need a roof. I need more infrastructure before I want to go down that route. And that, like, all of this stuff has to be ground up, and those grinders are like 3-phase electric, which I don't have here. So all of these things are options, but waste is becoming a problem, and I have been looking for a possible solution, but I also want my solution to make sense to me, to be profitable, and at least get all of this out of here. I think if I am wanting to be an exceptional business, if I want Ohio Wood Burner to be world class, I need to be zero waste. And having this big pile of waste behind me here is not putting me into that position. I can do much better than this, guys. So this is one thing I'm going to be working on this year, along with cutting down on my Dr. Pepper consumption, barbecue brisket, sub sandwiches, Almond Joys, Oreos, grande chai lattes, 6 pumps extra hot, barbecue chicken, pork shoulder, ham sandwiches, Whoppers. Can I really give up Whoppers? Extra pickles, extra ketchup, love Whoppers. Pizza. I don't know if I can give up pizza. And that is all from the Woodyard here today, guys. Happy New Year 2024. I want to thank everyone for hanging out with me, and let's all wish for the best year ever. Everyone have a great day.